Hi there, and welcome back to the Energy Sector Heroes podcast. My name is Michelle Fraser, and every week I will speak with incredible people who share their lessons, experiences, and stories from their time spent in the energy sector. Hi there, and welcome back again to this week's episode. If you're new to the show, then please take a second to subscribe and even consider sharing the show with just one other person. This week I am joined by Paulo Lenci. Paul is a sales director for the energy renewable space. Paulo, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Paulo Lenci. I'm 49. I live in São Paulo, Brazil. I'm married. I have one daughter. Currently, I start my career. I have a degree in mechanical engineering and started my career in the automotive industry. And I've been working for about 11 years. And then I transitioned to the wind energy industry since 2014.
Okay. So how did you get started off in the energy sector then?
Actually, I had the opportunity. I was working as a project manager in automotive auto parts manufacturing, American manufacturing called the Lear Corporation. And at that moment, Brazil was through economical crisis in 2014. And I had the opportunity to join a Spanish at that time, a Spanish O&M manufacturing, wind turbine manufacturing, called Gamesa. This was before the merge with Siemens, and I was very lucky to have the opportunity to move from automotive business to wind energy industry business, because this is pretty hard. As you know, it's pretty hard to move, at least in Brazil, moving from one industry to another one, because usually the recruiters and the companies, they are not open to find out different profiles from different industries. But in my case, I had the opportunity through a friend of mine in education to join this company. So I started working as a project manager, and since so I've been working in industry business.
I think you're the first one actually that's ever said that it's quite hard to transition between two different industries. What made it hard? What makes it so hard?
Because basically people from industry, they are not open-minded to figure out the professionals through the key skills. Somehow they seek for professionals with exactly fit with the positions. So I'm looking for a sales manager for wind industry. I go to the competitors and try to hire someone with the same role. I don't know exactly the reason why. Maybe they're afraid of not working, or or make a deeper assessment of the behavior of the skills, and they usually go through the easiest way to take the exactly fit, and that's it. So you can see many people moving from one position to another with the same fit and spinning around. And the opportunities for people from outside, it's pretty difficult to join to enter in the market.
Okay, but do you think it's just the case that the employers in the different industries are not recognizing the skills and seeing them as transferable? Because I thought that quite a lot of engineering skills would be transferable, especially with mechanical, electrical.
I believe this. At the time, Gamesa used to believe in that, because Gamesa, the Spanish company, at the time, they couldn't find skilled professionals for wind industry, because at the time, wind industry was pretty new. And even in Europe, it was very hard to find professionals specifically skilled for the roles they wanted. And Gamesa located north of Spain, they have availability of qualified labor from automotive industry. So decided they had this strategy to develop this labor from the industry, and they started this movement. And my former boss came from the automotive industry as well. This was very a good idea, very good insight from Gamesa at that moment, and they started this trend to develop and in developing professionals from automotive business to win the industry business. But basically, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's an exception. I guess consider this an exception.
Okay, so what kind of skills do you need to be able to transfer over if you were going to try and transfer over?
Basically, the main skills is project management skills and communication skills. When you're skilled in project management, especially for at automotive industry, you're able to cover mostly all industry segments, because it's very harsh. It's very harsh, high pressure, and the professionals from this branch of business, they are pretty qualified, and it's easier them to get used to adapt to other cultures. So if you have automotive professional with project management skills, it's very likely that this professional will adapt and get used to any branch of the industry. I think this is
Okay.
the key competence.
Okay, but do you think that for any maybe mid senior people wanting to transfer maybe over to from another industry, maybe the oil and gas, to go into renewables, that they would have to do some retraining then?
Oil and gas has more fit with the industry. It's easier to move because both business are capital goods and capex and EPC business. It's easier to get used to. Automotive, it's more difficult because it's consumer goods, high volume against capital goods and EPC contracts. It's construction business. I guess it's easier to fit. That's why you see more often oil and gas professionals moving to wind or renewable.
Okay, that's interesting. So, what is your biggest challenge since moving industries then?
Since moving at the beginning, the culture changes was pretty high because the the automotive industry has very unique culture,
Mm.
and the wind industry, even being an industry, it's very strong, the culture of the construction and EPC. So moving to industry culture to EPC culture to construction culture, it's very harsh. It's completely different the way people communicate to each other and they treat each other. It's not so organized. It's not so standardized. It's not so many procedures. Industry, it's you are based on a lot of procedures. Just follow the procedures. You have good communications. Follow the rules. Don't mess up. You're okay. But EPC, you have more challenges. It's more uncertainties, and the behavior of people are pretty different. So it's a big change in the culture.
Okay, so what is the best thing about changing industries then?
Knowing new people, new cultures, new nationalities. In case of windy industry, you travel a lot to countryside. and small towns, different people from small towns, from north, from south, from abroad, and then you sharpen your culture, your communication. It's very grateful to witness different cultures, and especially in Brazil, different places, and get to know the human wealth of the country, because you are in the countryside, deep countryside. So it's completely different, and this is very grateful.
Okay. So, if you were going to give advice to any new graduates coming into the renewable energies, what would that be?
For young people
Yeah.
who are leaving the university, my recommendation is to forget big cities and get opportunities in the on sites, and go to the construction where things is happening, and stay there for some years, and then you will be the possibility of growth. It's much higher, because you learn the core, you learn where the things happen, the construction. And most of the professionals who are feeling leading positions, they start in on field. And besides that, it's amazing life experience. So that's my recommendation. Young people go try to get some positions and in the constructions abroad, and you find out amazing places, amazing opportunities, and more possibilities of growth.
I agree actually, because I think you learn more on site during the construction phase than you ever will looking at a design. Because what normally happens at design phase, normally you have to really modify it on site.
Yes, I had a boss who used to say, "Don't be a desk engineer, don't be behind the desk. Go outside, go to the plant, go to the fields, talk to people." Being a desk engineer, it may shrink your possibilities. So go outside. It's always a wiser choice.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, did you have any mentors during your career then?
No, not actually. During my career, I had to guide myself. I had some mentors, but mostly I had to guide myself. This was very challenging. Having a mentor is it's pretty good, but most of times you don't have a mentor. This is something that most of time doesn't happen. Maybe in the most structured companies, they have mentoring programs. I had to mentor myself, but I learned with I had good colleagues and good examples to follow, but not exactly mentoring. I didn't have an opportunity to someone to pass me knowledge. I had to seek for the skills, seek for the knowledge by myself. But I had the opportunity to mentoring some people, so this was very good experience. After becoming a senior, and mentoring is very it's an amazing experience.
Yeah, I agree. So, how did you find having to mentor yourself? Is that not quite difficult?
It's quite difficult. It's quite difficult. You have to, I don't know, trace a path, map the hurdles, and starting working on, and starting working. Look at yourself, to your weakness, to your strengths, and starting working. And sometimes it's pretty hard, because sometimes you are misleading yourself. Actually, you take longer to learn when you don't have a mentoring. But the reality is that most of time people have to mentor themselves. It's mentoring someone. It's something very restricted to rich companies. Most of times You are your best mate. You have colleagues. You have colleagues. You have friends. You exchange experience with your colleagues, your peers, and then we start gathering information, gathering insights, and start mentoring. You're not completely by yourself, but the mentoring, it's something that it happens to 350 degrees, 360 degrees. So and then you grasp a little bit from each one, and and start building your guidance. That's the
Yeah.
way it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, do you think it's a good idea to have a plan for yourself during your career?
Yes, this is a good idea, especially when you're younger. You don't have a plan because you believe this is something. It happens very often. You believe the company has a plan for you, and the company hasn't a plan for you. They don't know how to manage you. So you must have a plan for yourself. And yeah, it's very dangerous because the time may pass very fast when you realize it's passed 5 and 10 years, and you forgot the plan. I confess I hadn't a plan. I joined the automotive industry, and I believed that the company had a plan for me. The company was my mentoring. Okay, after 3 years, you're going this place and that place, and then after some years, I realized that wasn't like that. That's why it's important to pass this message to the youngers that the company is is not guiding you. You guide yourself, but it's not easy. I know.
Yeah, okay. Because that is quite a lot of misconception with quite a lot of the new qualified graduates have. That they think that they get their first graduate position, and they think that the company will have a plan all laid out for them for the next 5 years. So that might not even be the case.
No, most of times they don't have a plan. They say they have a plan, but it depends on the company. Some companies they have a plan, but most of them they don't have a plan. Especially in Brazil. In Brazil, it's impossible to have a plan because the certainties here they are very high. So the companies they don't make long-term plans for manpower, and they are not willing to invest on training, or it's just short-term plans. Okay, I have a project, I have to fulfill the labor, the manpower I'm going to hire, and the project will last 3 or 4 years. After this project, let's figure out if you have another project, and then you decide if you're going to keep them or dismiss them. It's not a lot. They don't have long-term plans. It's very unlikely that you have a more than 5 years plan for most of companies in Brazil because of the uncertainties, economical uncertainties, and so on.
But I think it's
So
the
that
same. Yeah, but I think it's the same all over the world because I know that, especially in the UK just now, it's maybe not that it's a bit unstable. But I just don't think that how it was when maybe when my mum and dad was working, and you could have a job for maybe 20 to 30 years. I just don't think that happens anymore.
No, I believe this time has passed. I heard about that. My parents, I heard my uncle, my relatives. You built a career. Public companies, you still have long-term plans. Maybe some branches, such as mining companies, very stable branches, but most of industry, it's the reality that they don't have long-term plans for the employees. So you have to build your plan by yourself and observe the trends. Always observe the trends to check whether you're going to stay or move, because the trends change very fastly, as happened in the automotive industry. The automotive industry used to be one of the best branches of the industry to work. After 2005, 2006, it's starting to shrink, becoming not so interesting. But in the 90s, automotive industry was amazing place to work. It still is. I'm not saying that it's not, but other good opportunities arose, such as renewable energy, and then I had the opportunity to move to this business.
Because you sound really enthusiastic and passionate about your job. So what is it that you really love about it?
I used to be an enthusiast of automotive business. I used to love it. I love it. Developing the cars, traveling a lot, the trial run, very, very intense experience, very complex. You must know everything, all the regarding project, regarding manufacturing, regarding quality. It's amazing experience. But from the perspective of growth, it wasn't becoming no longer interesting. But I used to be passionate by cars and conceiving a cars and building prototypes, testing benches and laboratories. But from the perspective of growth, not so much. And now my passion is the renewable energy. Renewable energy is my current passion.
I think, I mean, I too, I have a lot of respect for the renewable energy because we have to be seen to be doing and changing our ways. But yeah, I mean, how is Brazil getting on with renewables, in hitting net zero? Are they still quite far ahead, or?
Yes, Brazil is a very important player for the energy transition. We have one of the best wind resources in the world. We have a lot of land. Onshore wind potential is still stunning. And you have also a very developed industry and developed players. The developers in Brazil, they are very good on the business. And Brazil is very promising on the energy transition, also solar and also offshore and also hydrogen sources. This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm very glad to be part of this, because Brazil it's very relevant on energy transition.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yes, that's excellent. So, did you always want to work in engineering when you were younger?
Yes, I started always as an engineer, project engineer. Actually, I started as design engineer, and then I have been transitioning slowly to project management. But at the beginning, I started as an engineer, pure engineering, and developing and drawings and prototypes. And then I have been transitioning to project management very slowly, and then move it to contract and then sales. But I have been working in the beginning as engineering and working with drawings, so a pure engineering for real.
So, do you think that starting off from a lot of people just want to go in maybe a junior, a junior project engineer? Do you think it's better for you to be able to start on the designs and then construction and then move up to maybe project management? Do you think that it benefits you doing that?
I believe starting from design is better, because at least for some years, because it's if you are working on industry, okay, because you have to know the core business, and the core business is design. Project management usually is useful when you have a certain level of seniority. When you have about at least 5 years, from 5 to 10 years of experience, because you know the problems, you know the issues, and you want to move on to higher challenges, and then you start working on with project management. I see many young people starting willing to start straight to project management. I wouldn't recommend that. It's important to work in the core business, in the drawings, if you're an engineer, in the plant, so that you can get to know the core business. And this core business will be very important when they become a project manager. It's I believe this is more consistent, slowly going up from one step to another. But people want to be a leadership and be a leader, and okay, I want to become a project management so that I can lead. But to lead, you have to know. So first you go to the desk, go to the plant, assemble a prototype for some years, and then you can move to project management. That's my understanding.
I agree as well, because I followed a similar sort of career path as well, where I started off in the maybe hands-on and then design. But there is a lot of people that still believe that you can project manage anything and you don't really have to know anything about it. Do you really think that that's true?
Yeah, it's true. Because it's such as a shortcut, for higher positions. I understand. Okay, become a project management. It's you are a leader. Somehow you are a leader. So some people they want to skip the phase one and to go to the leadership. I know. It's attractive, but I don't believe it's the best path. I think it's important to start from beginning and know the core business. For example, as I mentioned previously, the most respected professionals from a wind industry are the ones who had experience in field activities, construction, erection, logistics, EPC, and those people have more consistent skills. They know better. They know the issues deeply. During a meeting, a negotiation meeting, when some issue arises in the field, they really know what they're talking about. And people who skip this phase straight to the leadership positions, they have shallow knowledge about that. So this may be dangerous during a situation such as a contract negotiation or commercial negotiation. So that's my recommendation: is start from the bottom to the top.
So your advice to anybody that is wanting to change over from a different industry into the renewables is to try and get a position on site so you learn more, and then maybe try to progress your career from there.
Yes, I recommend this. I recommend at least for a couple of years, not so long. And that's what I see from my colleagues. The colleagues who started from this kind of activity, they were more successful on the careers. So this is a better strategy, I believe.
I think so too, actually. I do agree with that. So how do you know if you are really successful in your career?
Yes, it's tricky, but the position you are filling, the role, the relevance you have in the market, how relevant you are in the market. The market, the wind market in Brazil is very small, and if you build a name, if you could if you can build a good reputation in the market, build a good name, besides your position, it's a sign that you are successful. So how strong is your name? How strong is your reputation? And it's not easy to measure, I know, but somehow if you are respected in the market, if you have a name in the market, if you have a track record, if you have a legacy, this is a sign that you are successful. That I have a history. I think this is a.
But it is quite hard to build up a reputation, though. It can take years.
Yes, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. It's not easy.
But how would you try and get your name out there and to build a reputation and to be well known?
I think this is one key point regarding our careers: building relationships and building networks. Building networks, it's something that you do constantly. Constantly, networking, it's a constant process, and collaborating with all people all the time. It's a good strategy, and have allies everywhere. It's I believe it's a good strategy to build a strong name, because you respect people and they respect you, and we respect each other. Even after leaving a company, you keep going on the networking, and giving attention to the colleagues, especially to the colleagues who are through difficult moments. When you are through in that difficult moments, no one remembers you. So it's important to pay attention on that, because this colleague maybe it's someone from your legacy, it's someone from your past, and it's important to pay attention on everyone, and keep networking all the time. Doesn't matter if the guy is a boss, doesn't matter if your colleague it's unemployed, and building the bridge, building relationship constantly. It's a very, I think it's very good a way to build a name, and become respected, such as a family. Such as a
Yeah,
family. Yeah.
I agree. So you think it's really important for the young graduates to try and network really, really early.
Network is a constant process. So people thinking about networking when they are unemployed or available in the market. Network, it's a two-way process. So you feed them, they feed you. So you help. It can be pretty easy to just at the telephone call, and a piece of advice, and provide some market information to help someone. Anything. It's not something very sophisticated. And keep in contact with all people from your legacy, and keep the relationship alive, and provide a supporting network, and then your name becomes stronger, I think.
I think so too. I think so too. So I'm going to maybe wrap up, maybe one final question. And your conversation has been amazing, and you've been amazing, actually. So I was going to ask you, if you could turn back time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Think about the future. Think about networking. People, especially for people who live in bigger cities, don't be afraid of leaving the cities. There are many opportunities in other places, especially from young people who live in São Paulo, London, any other capital. It's important to, when you're young, you must live, and live the experience of different places, different people, and then you will return one day. Don't be afraid. and stay where the go, where the opportunities are. It doesn't matter where. Okay, thinking about safety. Okay, just don't forget about safety. Be careful, watch your step, but don't be afraid of leaving your homeland and hometown to live the different experience.
I agree. And that is amazing advice. That is amazing advice. Right. I'm going to wrap it up there. That's all the questions I have today. I would like to thank Paulo for your time. That brings us to the end of another episode. Thanks for listening and see you next week. That brings us to the end of another episode. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, I'd like to gently encourage you to leave a 5-star rating wherever you listen to podcasts and share the show with another person. You can also follow me on LinkedIn or via my website, www.michellefraserconsultancy.com. Thanks again for listening and see you next week.